The last caller on my overnight show knew my childhood nickname, the one only my mother used, and my mother's been dead for 13 years. You learn to hear things before they make a sound. That's the first rule of live radio, and it's also the first rule of being alone at 2:17 a.m. in a cement block station on the edge of a desert town that sleeps like a stunned animal. You feel a shift in the room, the air leaning forward, the tin smell of a storm that hasn't been born yet, and you know the phone will ring, or the transmitter will cough, or the tower lights will go out in a pattern you'll pretend isn't Morse. My name is Evan Price, and if you've driven the I-40 across the flat middle of nowhere between Barstow and Flagstaff at night, you might have heard my voice. KZRD 13:10 a.m. The Lark. That's me. The graveyard shift. Tin coffee, peeling acoustic foam, an on-air sign with a flicker like a tired heartbeat. The station's been here longer than most businesses in town. Longer than my marriage lasted. Maybe longer than I've been the man I claim to be. I tell the truckers their weather. I tell insomniacs their songs. Mostly I tell myself there's a reason to keep talking to rooms that don't clap. Tonight started like any other. A string of callers with voices that sounded too old for their throats. A woman humming to her new baby between sobs. The usual guy from the off-ramp motel who swears coyotes stack themselves on the dumpster and watch him smoke. I smile into the mic, keep the patter moving. The clock in the corner eats minutes and spits them into the void. The engineer, Mac, left at midnight with a wave and a damn. That hum is back. He didn't come back. The hum is new, low, like a truck idling in the next room, except there is no next room. The transmitter field is a mile away across hardpan and creosote. I blame interference, blame cheap LED lights, blame anything that isn't the thing my bones think it might be. I cue up Patsy Cline and lean back. The phone blinks. Line 3. No name on the screen. Just unknown like a dare. KZRD, you're live on the Lark. I say. It's Evan. Talk to me. There's breathing. The kind you recognize when you've held it while someone counts stitches. Then a voice. A woman's, soft and crisp like a cassette that's been played too often on the same sad afternoon. Hi, Evie, she says. No one calls me that. No one alive. I swallow. My mouth becomes theater. Hey there, I say, making it banter. You must have dialed the wrong. I heard you're lonely, she says. You always were, even when you had friends. You used to sleep in the closet when thunderstorms came. You told me the coats sounded like people. The room shrinks. The hum in the floor rises like a tide. I could hang up, but live radio is a covenant. Isn't it? You promise to let the world speak and you promise to keep breathing while it does. That's the deal. What's your name? Ask. Where are you calling from? From home, she says. And I can hear it now under the voice. Chimes. The kind that used to hang from our porch and sing when the wind pretended to be kind. From where you left me in the kitchen with the light on because you were too scared to turn it off. I fumble for the dump button. The 7-second delay that saves you when callers get profane or confess murder. The light over the button is dark. It shouldn't be dark. My mom died in 2012. I say. My voice is a polite letter. I think you've got the wrong. You kept her driver's license in your wallet for 3 years. The caller says calm. You pressed your thumb over her picture until the plastic bubbled. My hand is my mother's hand for a second. I can see the thumbprint fogging laminate. I end the call. The studio exhales. Patsy finishes a note that should have bent but doesn't. I pull the fader down and sit in the soft roar that isn't on the air. The clock flips to 2:23. The on-air light pulses. Steady, steady, then pauses like it had to think about it. Okay. I say out loud because saying it makes it belong to me. Okay. I check the call log. Line 3 has no record. The old Telos unit that handles calls hums like it's aware of itself. I tap the glass on the booth door. My reflection taps back. A man with a face radio forgives. Bags like bricks under his eyes. A cordless pair of headphones around his neck like a Tupolite noose. The next song is cued. I press play. Johnny Cash walks into the room like a memory you owe money. I open the mic. If you're just joining us, I say, voice smooth. I'm your night watch, Evan. Lines are open. Tell me the story you can't tell anyone else. The phone rings. Immediately. Line 1. Then line 2. Then line 4. The screen doesn't show numbers or names. It shows 1310, 1310, 1310 across every slot, like someone sat on a keyboard, like the station forgot how to count anything but itself. I pick up line 1. Static. I pick up line 2. A whisper that might be a word in a language I never learned. Line 4. Silence, like a hand over a mouth. I hang up. A tickle runs up my scalp like a cold finger. The hum under the floor grows teeth. The emergency alert system machine, the old gray metal box with the red EAS sticker, wakes without being touched. 3 tones, like a song for people who like accidents. The printer attached to it screams little dots of ink onto tractor paper. This is a test, it says, but the header says unscheduled and the timestamp is wrong. 3:17. It is 2:27. The EAS cuts my signal. The room fills with the syrup of government. A voice none of us elected says, "This is a message for KZRD 1310 AM. Authorized personnel only. Do not cease transmission. Do not vacate. Do not turn off the light." Then it flips back to me like nothing happened. In the corner, the beige landline, the one only Mac and the Tower Shack use, rings. I let it ring twice. Professional, unbothered. I pick up. Mac. Silence. Then, "It's windy." Mac. And quiet. "Why's it so quiet, Ev? Where are you?" "The field," he says. "Lights are doing a thing." His laugh is too thin. "You know how bugs hit the red lamps? It looks like that, but without the bugs. I think something's wrong with the ground. Come back." He doesn't answer me. He says, "Don't come out here." "Okay. I mean it," he says, and the way he says it makes me believe people for the first time in days. "Your voice sounds wrong on the monitor. Slower. Like it's dragging something behind it." He breathes. "Don't stop talking, Ev. Just don't stop." The line dies. I press my palm to the desk. The hum is stronger, yes, but it's not random. There's a pulse, a cycle, like breath. The VU meters on the console wobble to it, up a hair, down a hair, even when the channel is muted. I switch speakers. I switch to headphones. It's in both. I think ground loop. I think bad earth. I think the bronze plaque in our lobby that says EST 1957 and how the receptionist swears if you put your ear to it. You hear reel-to-reel spools spinning from when the station still smoked cigarettes. The door to the lobby is glass. Beyond it is the outside door and the narrow street and the low blocks of town. Every window is dark. On a normal night, there's a bar still lit, or a convenience store that believes in 24 hours, or a light in the motel office where a man in a polo shirt finds the price of sleep in his initials. Not now. Nothing. It looks like the inside of someone else's eyelids. Another call. Line 3 again, because of course. I let it ring until I'm sure I won't say my mother's name when I answer. "KZRD, I say. "This is Evan." A familiar voice, except the familiarity is wrong. Too close to the bones. My voice, pushed through a throat with gravel under it. "Don't leave," he says. "Not yet." I stand. My headphones thump my collar. "Who is this?" "You know." I don't breathe for a second because I don't want him to hear me do it in the same rhythm. "Tell me something only I know," I say. Stupid thing to say. It's the motto every horror movie uses before it dies. "You keep a photo of a house you never lived in," he says. "The one your dad promised you'd move to after the factory closed, and before he was gone so fast the furniture didn't believe it. It's in the inner pocket of your denim jacket. The one with glue on the right cuff from when you tried to fix the soundboard with a prayer." I reach without deciding to. The paper is there. Sunburnt 2-story with a porch that probably smelled like cheap resin and long grass. "You're on a delay," he says. I say. 7 seconds. The dump is dead, but the delay is alive. That's how it gets in. Through the space where you think you're safe. He laughs. "It hurts. I tried to fix it. I thought I could talk smoother." "You can't talk smoother than an empty room." "What is it?" I ask, which is the wrong question. The right question is, what did I do? "You'll find the basement," he says. "Don't go in. Unless you're going to finish it." Click. The song on the board is ending. I ride the fader up like I remember how. At the end of the track, the on-air light blinks twice, then slows. I hit the next song, but instead of sound, a whisper pours in. Not language. Sounds organized like children decide to be a choir. Something moves in the hall. Not footsteps, the absence of them. The kind of movement hallways make when they pretend to be longer. I force myself to do the job. If you're out there on the 40, I say, heads up, the overpass at Willow is slick, got a little fender bender in the right lane. Route your rigs left and remember you're not the only one trying to get home. My voice sounds normal in my headphones and wrong in the air. Slower, dragging. Behind it, the hum shapes itself into intervals, thirds and fifths, like it used to go to church. I think of Mac in the transmitter field with the bugs that aren't. I think of the S telling me not to leave, and my mother telling me to stay close to the light. I grab the mag light from the drawer, the kind with heft that makes a weapon feel like a tool. The spare key to the back hall hangs on a red lanyard with the old station logo. The Lark. We keep you up. I unlock the door to the back. The hallway smells like dust and cinnamon gum. Posters from old promo events line the wall. Meet the Morning Zoo crew from 1991. Classic country weekend. High school football. Friday night lights live. Every poster has faces on it. Every face watches me pass. At the end is the storage closet. You could call it a closet if you were generous and underpaid. Mop, bucket, broom, the coffee maker we replaced when it started making water that tasted like spoons. And a door I've never noticed. Not wood. Metal, paint thick as eczema. No signage. My keys don't fit. The lanyard one does. Inside, stairs. I laugh because I shouldn't. We don't have a basement. We're built on concrete slab, one story, pitched roof, rain gutters that jealous birds dream about because of their height. The floor where the stairs go down doesn't exist on any blueprint I've ignored on Mac's desk. I go down. The hum stops. The silence is weight. I could put it on my shoulders and do squats. At the bottom, a room that's older than the rest of the building. Walls unpainted. A workbench with a reel-to-reel machine that belongs in a museum and a cigar someone stubbed out exactly 50 years ago and forgot to finish because they stopped existing. A microphone with a bass heavy enough to keep promises. A red light over a door that isn't plugged into any wall socket and glows like it swallows glow instead of producing it. The light says on air. I don't want to, but I do. Put my hand near the microphone. The hair on my arm stands up as if static is a love letter. The reel-to-reel is loaded. The leader tape is spliced with yellowing Scotch tape. Lost the stick in it years ago but sticking out of habit. The take-up reel is labeled in block capitals. Studio 0, long sign-off. Next to it, another reel labeled roll call. My stomach tries to remember how to be full and can't. I reach for the long sign-off. It's heavier than tape should be. I set it on the machine. I don't press play. The machine begins to turn by itself because of course it does. A voice like my grandfather's whiskey reads what sounds like the end of a broadcast, old call sign, old frequency, station address, then a list of phrases I don't recognize as anything you'd want to say in FCC jurisdiction. To the winds between the towers we commend this night. To the bones beneath the dirt we trust this hum. The voice reads. We who signed on promise to sign off so the day returns. Packs up. The tape clicks off. The red light brightens like it liked that. Somewhere above me in the station. Something sighs. The hum resumes. Softer. Content. How many nights did you have to feed it? I ask no one. The room gives me a look like I'm late for work. I put on the roll call reel. I tell myself I'm only looking, which is how I've justified most of what I've done to other people. The tape runs. Names. Hundreds of names. Evelyn Lagrange, Tomas Oates, Ruben Red Martinez, Sarah with the scar. Names not read like commercials but like clocks being wound. With each name, a date. Tonight's date a few times. Tomorrow's once. I stop the tape. The names on the wall in the downstairs room, the ones I didn't see when I came down because I didn't want to, are carved into concrete. Names upon names. Some scratched out. Some with little tally marks beneath like a child keeping score of innings. Under all of them, the old call sign, KZRD. Under that, A motto I've never seen on any t-shirt upstairs. Keep the light, or it keeps you. I go back up. The hallway is longer. The faces on the posters look relieved. The station lobby has light in it that isn't ours. Moonlight trying to be a flashlight. I step into the studio and the on-air sign flares like a wound. The phone rings. The old beige line. Mac, I say. Wind stopped, he says. You hear that? I do. I hear the lack of it. A silence shaped like a held note. And under it, faint. Singing. Children. No, not children. People who forgot how to be adults. I read something, I say. Don't, he says. We've been feeding it, I say. All these years. We sign off on it like it's a paycheck. Ev. And the roll call, I say. Is that what I think it is? Are those? Don't say them, he says. And I hear something in his voice uncurl. Fear with a foot in its mouth. They're on the wall out here, too. On the concrete that holds the towers up. Some are scratched out. Some aren't. I scratched mine out with my keys. It bled. Mac! The line dies again. In my headphones, my own voice lags. 8 seconds now? 9? There's a space between me and me. That's where it is. That's where it comes through. The delay. The ES machine coughs again. Do not vacate. Do not cease transmission. Keep the light. No. I tell the room. No. I open the mic. If you're out there, I say, and my breath fogs in the studio like it's decided to be cold. You're going to hear something strange. You might already be hearing it. If you can, I want you to turn your stereo down to almost nothing. Leave it on. Leave it on. The phone explodes. Lines 1 through 5 flash 1310 1310 1310. I pick up line 2. Don't, a voice says. Not my mother. Not me. Someone small. Someone who learned to whisper in a closet with coats. Please, don't read them. The roll call tape sits on the desk like shame. The job wants me to read it. The room smells like old smoke, like asking forgiveness from a person who's not listening. I'm not going to, I say, to the caller, to myself. I drag the long sign-off toward me. My fingers leave sweat on the plastic. But I am going to finish something. I feed the tale into the reel. The red light watches. I press the record button. The reels hum to life with a hunger. I lean into the old microphone like it understands sin. This is KZRD 1310 AM. I say, we keep you up. We've been keeping something else up, too. No more. My throat burns. Here's how this ends. I speak the sign-off the way the old voice did. The address. The call letters. The silly phrases that are not silly. And then I change it. To the wind between the towers. I say, we commend nothing. To the bones beneath the dirt we take back our breath. You don't get us tonight. You don't get anybody. This frequency is for the living. The red light flickers violently, as if shaken. The hum climbs walls. The on-air sign brightens until the painted letters are negative space in a block of heat. The AS machine screams, do not cease transmission. Do not, shut up. I tell it, because politeness is for people who haven't had this kind of night. I reach under the console for the carrier switch, the one we're never supposed to touch except in storms and funerals. It's a lever with a red rubber condom on the end from 1988. Clicks like a jaw. Behind me, something knocks on the glass of the studio door. Once, twice, 3 in the rhythm of someone who learned it from childhood. I turn. A kid stands there. 10, 12, hair wet, clothes wrong for the weather. He smiles, and when he does, the radio in the lobby picks up a frequency you can't buy. Static arranging itself into vowels. Can I read the weather? He asks through the glass, and the glass doesn't fog the way it should. Please? I've been practicing. I flip the carrier to OFF. It's not dramatic. No thunderclap. No scream. The room doesn't fall into black. The hum stops like a hand taken off a throat. The on-air sign goes dark, not out, dark like a thing asleep. The EAS machine prints 3 inches of blank paper. The kid puts his palm to the glass. His smile softens, becomes human for a second. You'll have to finish, he says. His voice is a voice, not a radio. Or it starts over. He is not a kid. He is the part of this place that remembers us as kids. He is the closet with coats and the porch chimes and the humming room. He is what the station made to survive when it couldn't be a business and had to be a mouth. He fades, not like a trick, like a person walking out of a room they're done with. The hallway grows the right length again. In my headphones, nothing. In the monitor speakers, nothing. The city outside remembers how to be a city and flips on a streetlight with a shrug. Far off, a truck downshifts. Someone laughs in a way that doesn't sound curated. I pick up the beige line. It doesn't ring. I dial the field shack. It rings. Once, twice. Mac answers. He's crying and laughing and neither are dramatic. You did something, he says. Yeah, I say. I turned it off. He laughs, a word that is relief. I thought I was going to be stuck out here listening to that hum until my bones praised it. Come back, I say. Bring your keys. We meet in the lobby. He looks older. I look like what I am. The printer tore itself a crooked mouth of blank paper. The poster of the Morning Zoo Crew from 1991 looks sepia and embarrassed. The door to the back hall is a door to a closet again with a mop that doesn't know any spells. What now? Mac asks. Now, I say, and it's absurd, but I feel taller. We broadcast morning news. And then we call the VFW about the pancake breakfast. And we power wash the tower base. And we stop pretending the delay is a place to hide. He nods. He touches the bronze plaque in the lobby like it might apologize. You think it's gone? No, I say. I think it's hungry and far away, and I think hunger and distance are not the same as gone. I think we should buy a new delay unit that doesn't think. He snorts. You gonna tell them upstairs you turned off the transmitter for a minute? There's no upstairs, I say. There's just us. We go back into the studio. The board looks like a ship that believed in me. I flip the carrier back on. The room warms, not physically, but in the way sound does when it has a place to go. I play the national anthem because that's what you do when you've fought a thing no one saw. Then I play a song that isn't supposed to be on this format but is anyway because I want to hear a woman with a voice steady enough to teach a storm manners. I open the mic, if you're just tuning in. I say, we had some technical hiccups, the kind you get when old machines dream. We're with you. I'm with you. Mac's with me. If you're driving, keep driving. If you're grieving, put your hand on your chest and say your name out loud so it hears you. I smile at the idea of my mother humming. Weather at the top of the hour. The phone blinks. Line 1. Karen, pilot. Smooth takeoff. Line 2. Grandpa woke up for water. Line 3. Someone left flowers at the cross. Line 4. I heard silence and it was nice. I take them one by one. Voices come through that sound like dirt after rain. We talk about small things because small things are where we live. When the sun pushes up a bruised orange, Mac goes to the vending machine and comes back with 2 coffees that taste like their cups. We sit in the dawn that isn't mine and watch the on-air sign do nothing at all. Later, when the day shift arrives with their jokes and their cologne and their belief that nothing happens after midnight, I'll go home. I'll sleep in the bed in the apartment where no radio can hear me. I'll dream about basements that are closets and closets that are basements. I'll check my jacket pocket to make sure the picture of the house is still there, and then I'll throw it away. I'll call my sister and let her tell me about the kids. I'll buy a new deadbolt for the station. I'll work the phones for the VFW. Days will pass. The hum might never disappear entirely. It might learn a new name and knock at a new door. That's what things do when they are old. They adapt. So do we. You probably want an ending. A scream or a twist or a revenant at the window. That's not how this works. This isn't a story about winning. It's a story about changing the settings on a very old machine and then showing up tomorrow to check the levels. If you're driving and you hit that long flat stretch between Barstow and Flagstaff after midnight, and you turn the dial and find me, I'll be here. I'll tell you the weather. I'll take your call. I'll keep you up. And if you hear a hum under my words, a slow breath like a sleeping dog, don't be afraid. That's just the sound of something that used to own us, learning to be quiet. If it asks your name, don't say it. Let me say mine.